Good morning. Well, here it is, 11 o'clock. Hi, everybody. I have Tiffany and beautiful Joy with me, and we are here for a little bit of just morning chit chat. We usually go on at 9, but we all needed our. Ooh, I think that's me. Just a second. I think that's me. Hold on. Let me find the culprit. Let me find the culprit. There it is. Found it. Okay, ladies. So we are here to hopefully get Joy to 1,000 subscribers today. So Tiffany, why don't you say hello, and Joy, why don't you say hello, and then we'll greet everybody in the chat. Everybody, just about everybody in the chat are our good friends, but why don't you go ahead and just tell us a little bit about what you do and yeah, what you do.
Hello, good morning, everybody. It's Tiffany, Eat Sleep Amazon, and I hope everyone's having a great day. I am very happy to be here with my lovely ladies, Donna and Joy from Be the Difference. I sell mostly on Amazon, and I am just here to support my friend Joy, and we want to get her to 1,000 subscribers. She is almost there. She is an amazing woman full of love and energy and positivity, and I really believe in the message that she's giving to the world.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. Hey, Wonder Woman. What's going on, guys? My name is Joy from Be the Difference Clothing. I'm here because I'm amazed. Like, this is so nice of Donatella to allow me to go on her platform to just get more subscribers. And also, you know what, I don't like to call them subscribers anymore, but just get more people who are starting to believe that there can be a change in our communities and we can be better. Like, we've been inundated with negativity too long, and it's about time that we just change the cycle of humanity into something better. So I am happy to be here with Eat Sleep Amazon. Hold on, let me get in the frame. Eat Sleep Amazon and Donatella. Whoop, 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 whoop. So as you guys support me, please make sure you support them in everything that they do, because we are a community that helps each other. And what I'm going to do, if you don't mind, I'm going to do like a little video for YouTube. And then I'm going to post it right here. So they see me live and they'll be like, guess what I'm doing? And then they'll be like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm right here at this channel. So I'm going to do that real quick.
That's awesome. And you know what, Joy? I would love, so Joy goes on every day and she has these wonderful, inspirational, just awesome little, I don't know what you call them. What do you call them, Joy?
We chat about everything and anything. Hello, world.
Hello, world. And she just kind of, it just comes from her heart. She just talks from her heart. So Joy, I want you to talk from your heart this morning. Give us a little bit of inspiration, everybody in the chat, and let them get a sampling of what you're really all about, sweetheart, because you just make everybody feel good when everybody watches you. You do. I believe that.
Okay, I'm just being a little silly right now. Hey guys, what's going on? I am on YouTube. You can see me as I see you. There's Donatella, she's helping a sister out, and there's Eat Sleep Amazon. So if you want to know where I am right now, you want to go to that channel, go down to Donatella Bortolino's channel. Go to her channel and you can check us out live right now. Yes. So guys, basically on Hello World, we talk about everything and anything. And, you know, anytime that I come up with a topic, it's usually just out of the whim, or maybe somebody else suggests something to me. But importantly, you know, it's all about encouraging and inspiring, you know? So, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about?
Well, the first thing I want you to do is drop a link to your YouTube. I want you to drop it in the chat so everybody can go and subscribe to you. And
Okay.
Tiffany,
I'll drop that.
yeah, you make a comment. You do the same, or all you have to do, Joy, is even just make a comment, and they know they can just click on the 3 little dots to the right, and it will bring you to Joy, or it'll bring you to Tiffany, and you can subscribe.
Hey, look at Blended Whiskeys, Ricardo, Myra,
Blended
Wonder Woman.
whiskey.
Yes. All the people that I love seeing every night. Thank you guys for coming out.
Should we say hello to everybody? I'll say hello to Francesca. Sweetheart, I got your message. We will chat about that for sure. Absolutely. And let's see, my girlfriend, Wonder Woman, my new friend. Love you so much, sweetheart. Thank you so much for all the help the other day. And let's see, Myra. Hi, sweetheart. Thank you for coming in, stopping in. And Michelle is here, and Blended Whiskey. And let's see, who else? Ricardo. Pirate Ship. Thank you, sweetheart. And Swamp Picker and my good friend Pat Dees. Haven't forgotten about you. We will be putting together those boxes for you. And we have Dwayne with his signature dot. I need a signature something. I want to do a dot or something when I appear in other people's lives.
Hello, Dwayne.
I love your dot, Dwayne. It's awesome. Let's see who else is here. Sandy Brown, thank you so much for joining us. And what else do we have here? I don't want to leave anybody out. Nice little group joining in. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys will all tune in later on at 4 o'clock when I'm going to be live with Jeremy and beautiful George for just an open, the good, the bad, and the ugly about storage unit buying. So I hope you guys can all come back for that. And Joy, I'm going to hand it over to you, sweetheart. You do what you do best, and I don't care. I don't care what you talk about. Talk about. Maybe you can talk about. It's up to you, but maybe you can talk about YouTube and people that you meet on YouTube and friends that you make on YouTube, and how sometimes it can be drama on YouTube, and how to not let it affect you. And look at, I'm being the inspirational speaker now.
I mean, look, inspiration can come from anything, anyone. I got to take my sweater off of this one. Because when we talk about drama, boy, talking about drama, we don't need any more drama. Like, I think that there's enough drama that we go through on our own. Why do we need to have it between each other? And a lot of times I think drama is because maybe you may see somebody getting a little bit more notoriety or a little bit more attention, because notoriety doesn't matter, but a little bit more attention than you. And then all of a sudden, like, the jealousy bubbles up in your soul and in your spirit. But it takes a person with a lot of humility to just sit back and say, you know what, let me be happy for someone else, because eventually you're going to be somewhere where you're going to want somebody to be happy for you and your accomplishments. And also, you have to start controlling your emotions and your feelings. And a lot of us have not attempted to control our emotions or our feelings. And the way you start to control that, in my opinion, is you look at yourself in the mirror. Like, literally, if you can't even look at yourself in the mirror, then that's just a red flag and saying, like, hey, I need to pay attention to my actions. I need to pay attention to me. Let me find out what it is inside of me that's causing me to feel this kind of way towards another person. Because in jealousy and then disrespect and dislike and disloyalty, whatever you want to call it, right? And all of those things, you have no idea the person who you want to bring down, what they have gone through in their life. The struggles that they may have gone through or going through, or the traumas that they had when they were younger or even just recently. And it's not cool. Like, just start thinking about what you're doing to other people, and it could possibly just affect them in a bad way. And let me just see, because I'm hearing a little feedback. I don't know.
Yeah, I hear a little bit of like a
I don't know if that's me or just a television on or something.
I don't have any feedback on my end. I hear you loud and clear, but it's sometimes sometimes somebody will be mean to me, and I don't know if you know, Joy, but I had a huge loss. I lost my son, my
Mm-hmm.
11-year-old son, to cancer, and like I feel like I have endured more sorrow and pain than anyone should ever have to endure losing a child and watching a child suffer the way he did. So when someone's mean to me, either intentionally or unintentionally, I always feel like I've endured enough pain. Like I shouldn't have to endure any more pain. Like you don't know what people are going through, and sometimes, when people's harsh words, um, they hurt. They hurt 10 times more when you think about what you've been through, and when you're going through a really hard time, and then you think about what you've already been through, it hurts even more. I don't know if I'm explaining myself,
No,
but
I
that
get it.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I feel like the more trauma and the more trials that you go through in life, I mean, they say it makes you stronger, but I think what it also does, Donna, Joy and I talk about this, is it makes you more empathetic and compassionate. So then when other people hurt you, you feel that more deeply. Like you're not becoming numb to it, which is good because you don't want to become numb. If you
I
become
don't become
numb,
numb to it.
yeah, no, and I know you're not that.
Like when when someone hurts me or says something to hurt me or does something intentionally to hurt me, I feel bad for that person.
Yeah,
I do. Is that empathy?
yeah,
Is that what
that's
empathy is?
you're
Because
It
probably
is, and it's
yeah,
cool. In a way, it's cool that you do feel bad for them because the way I see it, like when people are being mean, I think it's probably just a knee jerk reaction. It's like they've probably been in so much pain. It's like, before you can hurt me, I'm going to hurt you. You know what I mean? So like maybe they don't even know that they're saying things that are hurtful because they've already been used to that environment for so long, or that type of experience for so long, that it's just, they just have to get you before someone else. Like just before I got here, I was I was somewhere, and the person was asking me a question. I answered the question, and then they were like, "I didn't ask you for all." And I'm like, my knee jerk reaction was like, "Don't talk to me anymore. Stop talking to me. Just stop talking."
right.
Because it just reminds me of how the years of treatment, that the relationship that we've had for so long is just like, I no longer want to tolerate your actions. And so by me not tolerating it, you get upset because I say, "I'm done. Stop. Don't talk to me anymore." So in a way, I think we can counter all of those emotions by, like you just said, just show love, or just say, "Look, stop." Address the situation, because sometimes people do need to be addressed. Sometimes it's not worth addressing, but a lot of times when people don't realize how they're acting, they do need to be addressed in a gentle way, if you can. And hopefully they're willing to listen and see, like, maybe they are being mean or saying things that are spiteful for no reason.
I think that the majority probably wouldn't address it, like wouldn't go there and try to address it with someone who hurt their feelings. Like I know I don't. Like when someone hurts my feelings, it's really hard for me to go and address it and say why. Like why did you say that? Why did you do that? Why did you treat me that way? Why didn't you come? Why didn't you like I can't I just I give them a second chance. I give them a third chance. I even give them a fourth chance. I give lots of chances, but I'm also very much the person that once you burn me 3, 4 times, I cut people out of my life
Yeah,
completely. Completely
yeah,
cut them out of my
I
life.
think you should.
I,
I think you should
I've done
address
that with
it.
I've done that with family.
I think you
I've
should
done that with
address it.
family.
I
it
think you should
doesn't
address it
it
because,
doesn't matter. Yeah, sorry to cut you off, but it
no,
doesn't
I
matter
I
if it's
really
if
do
it's
think you should
family or
address it.
friends. Yeah, Yeah, and it doesn't matter if it's family or friends. Like to me, it doesn't matter if you're blood related or related by, you know, marriage or whatever. Like once you cross a certain line, like that's it.
How can I fix this? Let me try switching this around so I can put banners up so it
No, you
doesn't
can. I
affect.
don't mind. I don't mind.
Okay,
I
but I
think.
wonder. I wonder if I maybe do
Oh
this.
no, that's too close.
No, if I
It's
do
That's
fine.
too
this.
close for me.
It's fine. It's
No.
fine. You can put it back
Okay.
where it was. It's okay.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I'll just
I
keep it
just.
on like
I
this.
like to. I
You're like
like
the
to
road runner.
highlight. You know, I like to highlight what some people. You know, like. You know, he doesn't give chances. You know, he doesn't give chances. I give lots. One time and you're out. He's saying one time and you're out. I
I
And
can't
think
I,
you
afford
should
that.
address it though. Like the reason why I think you should address it is because how fair is that for somebody who honestly may not have known that they offended you and you never brought it to their attention? Like literally think about the amount of people that may not have literally known that they offended you by what they said. And you
no, but
just
I
don't
don't.
know
I
about
don't
it.
think what Ricardo. I mean, knowing I don't know Ricardo very well, but I know him enough to to think that I don't think he's referring to like a slight offense.
Oh no, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about what Donatella was just saying.
Yeah, yeah. Dwayne, if I offend any of you, I didn't mean it. Where is Heather, Dwayne? Where is Heather? Heather
Yeah,
is so funny.
get that girly girl on here.
She is so funny. I love her.
It may have just been a
Exactly.
misunderstanding.
Exactly. I think like you have to give people the chance to defend themselves. Because like what if I said something in general and you thought I was talking to you and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, Joy was talking about me. How could she talk? Half the times I don't even know what anybody's going through. And sometimes I may say something that might hit that heartstring right there. And it's like, well, how does she know? Joy doesn't know. It just comes from here. It comes from the heart and out. So if you think that I'm talking to you directly and you're like, okay, this Joy is this person now, it's not the truth. Address me. Be like, Joy, why did you say that? Be like, well, I didn't even know I was addressing you. I was talking in general. And then that clears the air. So then
Yeah.
you won't have to do like, oh, I gave somebody second and third chances. Like, and they didn't even know you gave them a first chance. So
Yeah.
Nutella, I think you should address people or as much as you can. That shows growth when you can address people for something that you feel like they did something to you. It shows growth in yourself and maturity because being able to go to another human being and say, hey, you did something to me. I don't know if you realize that takes a lot of strength for you to do that. And then a lot of us would rather sweep things under the rug and not address it. And then when you're finally at your wit's end, you just cut people off or you start yelling at them and they're like, what is this coming from? Where is this coming from? You know?
I find the way I address things sometimes, and I mean this with sincere. I don't do it to be condescending, but I really like sometimes I will apologize even if the person that hurt me, um, they hurt me. Like I find myself apologizing to them. Like they should be apologizing to me, but I find myself when I do try to work it out, like I'll say, I'm sorry that you felt that way, or I'm sorry that it happened this way. Like if they say something about me or like that's how like I will approach unfortunate situations, we'll call them. And that's not always right. Like my husband will say to me, why did you apologize? You didn't
Yeah.
do anything right. You
Well,
were so right. Like everything you did was right on, like 100%. Like this whole YouTube thing, like there's so much drama that goes on YouTube. It's amazing. And mostly a lot of it's been happening like just these past few weeks in the community. And what are you clapping about? Oh, super
we have some
Joe!
new
Hey,
people. We
sweetheart.
have some new people coming in. Super
Thank you
Bell.
so
Hello,
much.
hello.
There
Oh,
you
what's going
are.
on?
Super Doll was responsible for getting me to 1,000 subscribers. I'm almost at 1,100. Super Doll. I am like growing like crazy, and so many of your people are coming to my auction and buying stuff. Like
Wow.
right? We have new people all the time coming into the auction from Superdell Station, and they're buying. I am so
Nice.
psyched. So thank you for that. But yeah, but back to what I was saying, and yeah, I find myself apologizing, and my husband, he's like he's like my knight in shining armor. He's always like, my husband tries really, really hard to keep me happy and to make me happy. We've been together for a very, very long time. I've known my husband since he was 11 years old. And so when he sees someone getting me upset or saying something to upset me, he gets really mad because he does everything in his power to keep me happy. And so when he sees someone else, and so when he hears me apologizing to people, it drives him crazy. It's like, why are you apologizing? You did nothing, but I don't know. It's just the way I deal with it. And I don't.
I think for you, you would rather sacrifice how you feel, even if it's right or wrong, like you're just saying, even if it's right or wrong, just to appease somebody. And that is something that I think a lot of us struggle with. Like, appeasing someone will not make the situation better, because you're just saying, hey, you slap me in the face, it's okay. Next time, stab me in the back, and I'll be okay with that. Ooh, that just rhymed. But like at some point in time, the only way you're going to feel good, like completely good about yourself, is if you get the strength and the courage to say, hey, you hurt my feelings. I don't know if you realize you hurt my feelings, or what you said may have hurt my feelings. You have, like, it hurt me to the core. And if they don't apologize, then you'll know where they stand. But you don't have to say anything to them, because you're just giving them information that they can take and do with whatever they want. But you have to get it off for yourself. But don't appease people just because you want to make them like you. Because that's in essence what you're doing. When you appease people, you just think that, okay, they're just gonna like me because I was humble enough to apologize. But it's not helping. It's not healthy for you. It's not gonna help you. So like, you're a strong person. You're a wonderful person. You're a beautiful person. Like, don't allow people and what they do to you to make you feel like, okay, well, as long as I apologize, and I'll feel better about the situation because I didn't want to hurt them. No, like, sometimes people really need to feel it in their soul, like, dang, I really hurt her. Wow,
Yeah,
like, I
but
need
Joy,
to myself.
it's so hard to change your personality.
Oh, trust
It's
me.
so hard to change your personality. Like, that's my personality. I can't change it. It's
Yes,
who
you
I
can.
am.
Yes, you can.
You can.
Yes, you
It's
can.
just
You can change
practice.
anything. Like Donatella, girl, you can change anything. The fact that you say you can't, you're not going to. But you have to, like, look at yourself and say, you know what? What parts of me do I want to work on to be better so I can get to that next level? And if you really truly work on yourself and really get to the root of why you feel like you always have to appease everybody, then you'll grow. And then maybe you won't be encountered with those same situations. Because remember, you'll keep on getting those same situations until you work it out. Right? So people will continue to come in your life. Those situations to correct will continue to come in your life until you address it and overcome it. If you don't overcome it, then it's always going to come in different forms, in different ways. So, we all have to grow. Like, trust me, I used to be the appeaser. I mean, I still do appease sometimes, but I've gotten, like, this morning, like I said, I had to just tell this person, like, stop. We're not having a conversation anymore because you feel like you have to raise your voice in anything and just to try to tell me what to do. No, we're not doing that anymore. I no longer want to talk to you. It's done. And then I don't see why you have to be like that. Oh, you got the devil in you. Like, and I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, people will say different things to make you feel bad, but I stood my ground and I said, I'm done with this conversation. Over. And it was over.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Good
I
for
have a
you.
question.
Good for you.
I have a question. I have a question, and I want people in the chat to be honest as well. And I'm going to ask, I don't need to ask Tiffany this question because Tiffany and I talk a couple of times a day, so I think I already know the answer to this question.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you, Joy. Do you let things bother you when something goes wrong? Does it sit like a pit in your stomach, and does it upset you, and does it affect you, and does it affect your everyday ability to work and continue on? I'm going to answer. I'm going to say yes. And you guys
I know
say
yours
yes
is
or
yes.
no. Say yes or no in the chat and be honest. Do you let it affect you? Be honest.
It used to. I'm not gonna lie. It used to. Things used to hurt me to the core. Like especially if I felt like I offended somebody. I'm like, oh, wait a second. Maybe what I said could have offended them. And but now what I do is I just say, hey, I said something the other day. I'm not sure if that offended you or not, but I have the courage now to address it because most of the times, it's like, oh, I wasn't even thinking about that. But I think once you address things and nip it in the bud, it stops that cycle in my head to potentially like spiral out and say, oh my goodness, they hate me. Now they hate my guts. Oh, well, I can't speak to them anymore because I did this to them. And then like all the while, they weren't even thinking a second thought about what I said. But then I check myself further and just be like, okay, maybe I won't say those things to anybody anymore about that. But I used to. It used to bother me, but I'm telling you, it takes growth. It takes a lot of growth because I had to initiate Joy, figure out yourself, figure out who you are, who you're supposed to be. And it's okay, you're gonna make mistakes, but I can't allow my mistakes to kill me anymore. You know what I mean? So like it used to bother me. It used to bother me, but not anymore. It depends now like on the situation, but none of those situations have really arisen for me to like get to that point. But no, I try to address things right when it happens. Right
T
when
is in, excuse me, 1 second. T is in the T. You want to come in? I see that you're
no,
driving.
come
Do
in.
you want to come in, honey?
Come
Yeah.
in.
I'm gonna see if she wants to come in. T, just be careful, honey, because she's driving. So
Yeah,
be careful.
be safe, T.
Yeah, be safe.
No worries. I just wanted to come in. I got a little delayed this morning.
So here's an interesting small stuff note from Dwayne. That's what I have a huge problem with.
With the small stuff?
Not with the small stuff. I have a huge problem with distinguishing what's the small stuff and what's the big stuff. Like, that's another thing that my husband will say to me. Why are you sweating the small stuff? Like, this is nothing. But I think that when the small stuff comes, and we know what the small stuff is, right? We know it. We know what the small stuff is. You pile that on top of the big stuff that we're dealing with, and that's kind of like, what's that saying? The straw that broke the camel's back. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I deal with so much big stuff.
I think I challenge you, Donatella, to start addressing things, especially when it happens. Even if you think that is a small thing, address it. Because that's gonna help you start to distinguish later on in life. Like, one, my feelings matter.
Yeah.
My feelings count. And two, I am strong enough to tell people how I feel.
Yeah.
So yes, I challenge you, Donatella. I challenge you.
And I agree. Like Dwayne said, you can't let it pile up because, now there may be something quote unquote small and it may not be the right time to address it. You may need to wait. But if it's going to get to a point where there's little things that you're going to hold as a grudge, and then it's going to pile up, like Dwayne said, and then eventually you're just going to let it all out, like that's not good,
Yeah, it's gosh almighty, you guys. I don't know. I mean, I've been listening to this my whole life, and it's just so much easier to say than to do.
It's not easy. It's not easy. But like you have to, like, what do? Like, you have to start digging. You got to start digging eventually. And it's never too late. It's never too late because you need that peace inside. And when you get that peace, like that for real peace, like it's okay for me to be who I am. Oh my goodness, you're gonna blossom even more. You have
Well, and this is my perspective. Like, somebody should be able to listen to you and respect you enough to care about your feelings. And if they don't care about the way they made you feel, then that right there is a red flag. Because at the end of the day, like you said, Donatella, like, you will say to somebody, I'm sorry that it made you feel this way. That's not always a bad thing to say, because you're taking into consideration their feelings and their perspective. Everybody sees things differently, and they have different perspectives. And when you have a complete disregard for someone's feelings, like, that's a huge red flag right there.
That's the worst. What you're talking about right now is the absolute worst. When you do approach the person and you try to work it out, and then they kind of twist it around and make you feel like, even though you've received confirmation from your best friends, from your family, from your children, from your husband, from your loved ones, whoever it is, and you go to the person to try to work it out, is that what's called a narcissist? Is that what that's the
It's
word?
not.
Narcissist?
It's a narcissistic tendency not to have regard for someone else's feelings. Yes.
Yeah. When they take what you're saying to them and they totally twist it around and make it sound like you're the bad person, even though you know they did something wrong.
But yet you still feel like you have to apologize.
Yeah.
Then
it goes full circle back to,
you're not helping the situation. You're only hurting yourself more, because now you're like, dang, why did I apologize? And then you get more mad at yourself. Like, why? Why can't they just understand?
Yeah, Adam, I was just reading Adam's comment.
Let me look in the chat too.
Yeah.
Submit your payment.
I will, Dwayne.
That's hysterical.
I know. Oh, I'm going to put myself on mute for 1 second. You guys go ahead and chit chat. I have to take this call. It's my daughter.
All right. How's it going, T?
It's going. You guys are buffering a lot. So if I'm not responding, it's because you're buffering. And it's probably because I'm on the phone app. And, the phone app is still in,
yeah,
that's trial.
Yeah, StreamYard on the phone doesn't always, I've noticed that it does buffer a lot. So Joy, I've asked you this before, but just, for the general public, with just different trials and struggles and things that have happened, in your life, how do you maintain such positivity and such kindness and such positive outlook?
Because I try to see that our world is getting better and it's possible. Like, not everybody is at the same level that you are at. You know what I mean? Like, all of us have to purposely want to grow.
Right.
All of us have to purposely want to address like our lives and be better. And if I could convince somebody that it's okay to check on your own life the way I've been doing, and trust me, I'm stubborn, I'm very stubborn and whatever, but like, if I can be where I am right now, I don't see why anyone else can't. And so that's what keeps me going. And also knowing that a lot of people don't know that they're doing stuff to offend people. Like somebody said earlier, you just never know. They could be saying something out of just how they were raised. You know what I mean? A lot of us are raised differently and with different values and value systems. And so you put all of that into consideration, that's why I keep going and being positive. Like, I don't know. I just think that's part of my life now. That's part of who I have become. So yeah. I don't know.
How did you train your mind to get that way?
It took a lot. Like, I do a lot of meditation. I was, with people. I was surrounded around people who we're able to teach you how to, look at yourself objectively, subjectively, and just in general. And then I started seeing like how other people were, like more than just the surface. Like when I look at somebody, I don't just see what they're presenting me. I see more. Like I don't know if people understand that, but I see a lot more. I can see like somebody's hurt and pain and outside of what they're presenting. Like, because every smile isn't necessarily a smile inside or a smile at the home or whatever. So that's just me.
Well, I'm sorry, Tiffany. Go ahead.
Oh, I wasn't. I think it was T that was saying.
It was me. And I think, one of the things to Joy's point is it's also the people that you surround yourself. And I think, sometimes we have too many negative Nellies, so to speak, around that, you kind of get in that mindset. And I don't like to be in that mindset. I don't like to be. I don't know about the rest of you, but I don't like to be in that whole, woe is me group.
No,
Yeah.
no.
You can put me, like, now I can confidently say, majority of the times you can put me in a group of people. You can put me in a group of people who are like Debbie Downers, if you want to say that. And I guarantee you that I will be able to at least show them that I'm a little different, and maybe they'll want to know what that's all about. So like I can handle that. Maybe you can't handle that. Other people can't handle that, but I can. Not all of us are going to be blessed with the same things. So what I can handle, you can't. And what you can handle, I can't. And I'm okay with that.
Yep. Heather, make show up. Yes, tell Heather to come in here.
Wait, say Donna. Wait, put that back up. I didn't even see what she said.
Okay, she said,
I've been there and done that with a family member, but when it gets to that degree of them ignoring your feelings and respecting that, you have to accept them. You're all done. Yeah, I say you could be done for now, but I truly believe things will come back, because I've seen it in too many other different situations in other people's relationships where they completely did have to like cut the person off and cut that thing off, but then they always ended up coming back. And I'm like, oh my goodness, they always come back. It always comes back. It always comes back.
Well, but Joy, wouldn't you, and I don't like to have leading questions, but what do you think as far as, and you and I have had this conversation one-on-one, what do you think as far as, in order for somebody to make a change in their behavior or their life, they have to sort of realize, number one, they have a problem, and number two, they have to implement something to change, right?
Of course.
So if somebody, like Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman is saying, even with family, because I've done this with family. I have family I no longer talk to, and I'm very clear why. They have overstepped a boundary, overstepped a line, because I'm a giver, a giver, a giver. And sometimes when you're too much of a giver, people take too much, and you have to step back and draw a line, because you realize that if you keep giving, you're going to just completely deplenish yourself. So like if these people that are coming back, like Wonder Woman says, are family, and they don't realize that they have a problem and they haven't made changes, why should you open that door again?
You don't have to open the door.
I agree.
You don't have to open the door. You don't have to open the door. But if they do make those changes, you have to let your guard down and think, and you really, really, and trust me, we all have to work on this. If somebody has really changed, you already have the perception of all of the things that they did to you that hurt you. So when they come at you, you already have that wall up. And you're like, man, it's going to take, like, you didn't change. Deep down inside, that's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. You did not change. But if they truly did, and they're really trying, you have to notice the difference and give them that chance. Up to you. If you don't want to give them the chance, that's fine. We don't have to. But if someone comes to you and they really, really have changed, only time will tell.
Yeah, you know what? What's really sad, and this is a really sad subject for me. This really bothers me a lot. So when my son died, I picked 5 people to do his eulogy. And these were people that were very, very close to me, that I considered them some family and some friends. 5 people. Out of the 5 people, it's been 6 years since his death. Out of the 5 people that I picked to do my son's eulogy at his funeral, I speak to one once in a while. The other ones I've completely cut out of my life. Do you know how much that hurts? Because of different reasons, I've cut them out of my life. That's really like, I'll never let them back into my life.
But you have to think. Joyce sent me this. She loves quotes. I love quotes, and she sent me this quote one day, and I saved it in my phone because I love it, and I have to remind myself of this. And this is something that I think you have to keep in mind. And this is what the quote says. Hold on, dang it! Watch me not be able to find it now.
It's okay. Take your time.
It says, "Stay with those who understand that it is a privilege to receive you."
I love that.
Wow.
If somebody does not understand that it is a privilege to have you in their life, then they don't deserve you.
You have to send that to me. I love that.
Yeah, I will.
It's true, Heather. It hurts. It hurts like crazy to part ways with people that we care about. So I'm going to go back to talking about YouTube. So when I really, this is a very important subject to me, and I'd love to talk it out with everybody. So it took me a year to get on YouTube. And I came on YouTube because I want to tell my journey of a grieving mother. I'm doing auctions now because I have to. And I'm buying mini storages, and those are mostly my videos. But it's going to take a turn. My YouTube channel is going to take a turn because I really want other parents, moms, and dads that need inspiration to follow me, and I want to be like, look, if I can do this, you can do this. Okay, that's the direction my YouTube channel will eventually evolve. So I might lose a lot of my reseller friends, and that's fine. But for now, I'm friends with all these resellers. And so when I started doing YouTube, I cut my hair, I put on makeup, I took off my black shirt that I wore every day because I'm a grieving Italian mom, and that's what grieving Italian moms do. When they lose a child or they lose a husband, they wear black from head to toe. I'm still wearing the black pants. Every once in a while I'll wear color, but I'm wearing color now. Like, I haven't worn color in a really long time. And so I got on YouTube and I made all these wonderful friends, all these great people that welcomed me with open arms and made it so easy for me to come on YouTube and chit chat with everyone and get to know T and Tiffany and Joy and everyone in the chat. Like, I consider you guys, and Debbie does sales, and I can call you people with problems and talk to you, and now I'm getting to know so many of my customers, because I'm sharing my phone number. Okay, so all that being said, you guys are my new family. You guys are my new friends. I don't even see my friends, my local friends. I see them rarely. I see you guys more than I see anybody else. And you're all over the country, worlds. You're everywhere. So when a place that's supposed to make me so happy to come to every day, because I'll go on and do a live every single day if I have the opportunity, just to see you guys, just to see my friends in the chat, and just to see whoever I can bring into my little windows here. We can have up to 6 people. But when shit happens on YouTube, and I have to start saying to myself, I'm staying out of it. I'm staying out of it. I'm staying out of it. I can't get involved with it. I don't want to hear about it. This one's saying things about that one. That one's saying things about that one.
I mean, but YouTube is this, like, we all have personalities. We all have things. Like, I think we have to look at people and not put so much pressure on people. Like, you can't look at people and be like, hey, like, man, you're not, like, you're my new shining armor, like my new shining star in armor. Like, give people room to make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? People are gonna we're all, like, eventually you guys are gonna find fault in something that I do or say. Eventually you will. That's just reality. But
I want to say something to that, Joy. I want to say something to that, Joy.
That. Go ahead.
I guarantee.
problem with YouTube is like social media today. Okay. It's too easy to say things because we still are kind of behind the scenes, behind the camera, and people have no filter. They have no qualms about saying anything. You would say more on here about somebody because the consequences are less than if you had to interact personally with these people every single day. It's
I
like
agree.
social media. It's like social media with kids, with the bullying and everything. You know, when we were growing up and we had an argument or a fight, we beat each other up behind the school and it was over and we were friends the next day. Now, because there's just so much, filter available to just shut somebody off, we say things. I'm not saying me, I'm just saying people in general on media say things because there's not the consequence that there would be with the interaction physically to one another. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense, but that's the communication that we have now. This is where we're communicating with each other. So in a way, it's nice that people can share how they truly feel because now you know, but give people room for error. Like, I don't think people are given that room for error.
You're right. They don't.
It depends on what the error is. Like, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know anything I don't know any riffs that go on YouTube because you guys see me and I'm usually by myself. So like I don't have like a team of people that I talk to every single day. I'm not like, but trust me, if I was around everybody every day, you're gonna see things that you probably was like, oh, okay. But that's okay. Give me room for that error. And I think we put each other on these impossible pedestals. Right. And then if somebody says something that you don't like, you know how to telegram. The telephone is like, oh, such and such did this. And then by the time it gets to you, it turns out they were a mass murderer. Like, you don't know. Go to the person. Like, as soon as you hear something, if it's about you, go to the person. If it has nothing to do with you, listen and don't respond. People have a right. If somebody considers you a friend, allow them to vent. Consider it a venting thing, but don't say anything because you don't know the third part of the story. You know the first part, the second part, but the third part is the truth. And you never know what the truth
says it all the time. There's three sides to every story. Hers, his, and the truth.
The truth. And a lot of times people are not willing to tell the truth. So you can objectively listen to what somebody has to say, but don't turn that into like, oh, this is like, we put labels on stuff like everything is a drama. Like, no, it's not necessarily a drama. It's just people who have a hard time communicating or getting their point across. So instead of trying to get their point across to the person that they have an issue with, they go and run tell. Right?
So how do you get the truth? How do you get the truth out?
You don't have to worry about the truth if it has nothing to do with you.
But the truth is so important. I have my version.
Truth is important.
Donna, are you a Libra, Donna?
Cancer.
Oh, wow.
Cancer. Where'd that come from? I'm a Taurus.
Because I'm a Libra. And Libras are really big about the truth and about equality and fairness. But honestly, a lot of times you're not going to get the 100% truth because and it's not because either party's lying. It's because everybody has a different perspective. So what person A and person B says, they're only telling you from their perspective. Yeah. But I do agree with what T said. And that's that if you took people from social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, whatever, and you're all working in an office environment, a lot of things that are said and a lot of the ways that people are treated would not be treated that way because people would not treat each other in person.
I don't think so. I don't agree with that.
That's the problem. Well, but some people with social media, like Adam was saying, the keyboard warriors, they think because it's social media and they're behind a keyboard that they can be a little bit more emboldened to treat people a certain way.
I've worked in professional environments for a long time, and trust me, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because I've seen people being talked about. I've seen people being abused face to face. Like, I just think that maybe the problem is a human error. It's a human error that no longer are we being taught or considering the fact that, hey, you can't just go around saying certain things. You got to consider the human, like your consequences. Like maybe we're not taught that we have consequences to look forward to about what we do and say. Maybe.
Well, that being said, too, Joy, it is the time that we live in, right? So, as the generations, come, listen, growing up, it was Mr. and Mrs. It was please and thank you, right? Our social skills, with our children, although I feel I've raised my children right, but still, as the generations go on, a lot of that stuff goes away.
It goes away because it's the family, the family chemistry has been, the family dynamics have been so pulled away. Like we are becoming like little robots because because the main source of communication is texting. We don't remember what tone of voice means and talking to each other in chats. Like, that's just the way it is. Like the human touch, like that's being taken away too. So you dehumanize people and you don't have that touch anymore, that verbal feel, and that verbal talk to each other, and that feel. Like you take all of those senses away, people become like a brick wall.
I want to address this. I want to address this, what Michelle said. Gossiping never helps. There's a fine line between what you may perceive as gossiping and what I may perceive as just chatter about a situation that happened that you feel really bad about and you want to talk it out with a friend or with an acquaintance.
It's still gossiping.
It's not gossiping. It's not gossiping. You're just talking about a situation, and then that person may take it and turn it into gossiping.
I mean, like it's not a bad word. I don't think gossiping is a bad word. It's just talking about.
I've always felt like gossiping is a bad word. That you shouldn't gossip, but gossip.
But gossip means different things to different people. Okay, so for your point, you're talking about you're involved in the situation and you want to talk it out. It's not me and Tiffany in the back room saying, "Do you believe Donna? That's to me is gossip."
Yeah, I agree with you. Yep. Yeah. But
that's what I'm talking about. But that's what I'm talking about. I come to you.
You have to.
That's exactly what I'm talking to you. I come to you and talk to you about what happened, to say, for example, just with Adam. He's, in the chat and there's, stuff going on with him. So, and I talk to you about what's going on with Adam, and then you may take that to someone else and say, oh, did you hear about what happened to Adam?
But that's the thing, though. You have to be careful with who you tell things to. Talk to people who will not repeat what you say, because it's not, when you speak, like this is a relationship. When you speak to someone, friendship, right? When you speak to someone, you're entrusting that you're venting to them. There should be no real reason why they need to repeat it to someone else.
Yeah. And
but what I'm saying is if it's something that's okay to be repeated, like
nothing should be okay to be repeated if you are talking to them about something that affected you.
Yeah. And
okay.
I 100% agree with Joy.
If it's not something that's affected me, if I'm just talking about.
Go ahead.
No, if I'm just talking about a situation that happened between one person and another person, and I feel bad about it, blah, 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 and then that person takes it to someone else and says, oh, it's not a big secret, okay? Everybody knows about it. It's like, it's out there. Everyone, it's all over YouTube. Everybody knows about it. Then that person takes it to someone else and says, oh, I was just talking to Donna and she was telling me about
Then that's repeated.
I agree, that's gossip, and that's why like when I talk to somebody, and Heather made a very good point. She said, never air someone's secrets even if you're mad at them. And that is the thing. For me, when I am talking to somebody, I make it clear what is in this conversation, what is said in this conversation stays in this conversation. And even if I have a falling out with that person and I no longer, if I hate their guts so bad, I will never take anything from that conversation out of that conversation, because number one, I value myself and I respect myself and I respect my word. And that's a good point. And I don't agree with gossip. I do think, like what you're saying, Donna, if somebody comes to you and says something to you, and you go and you tell it to other people, that is gossip.
Yeah.
Unless they tell you, hey, I'm telling you this, and I really don't care who you tell.
Yeah.
Then that's fine. But unless they make that disclaimer, like, I'm telling you this and I really don't care who you tell, if you take what was in that conversation and you go elsewhere, that to me is gossip, and it's not okay. And that would make me trust you less as a person if it got back to me that you took what was said in the conversation, as specifically if I told you this stays in the conversation.
Oh, I know all that. I know all that.
I think, Donna, I think.
No, I know all that. I'm talking about.
I hear what you're saying.
I'm talking about a situation which is out there. Like, people are talking about it. People are talking. This is what I don't know if I'm making myself clear.
I understand what you're saying.
Do you, Joy? Like,
I still think that instead of keep flaming the fuels of a fire, whoever you speak to, you should speak to someone in confidence about whatever, even if it's already been out there, even if everybody else is putting their 2 cents in, you still should be able to go to somebody who you want to vent to about, like, oh, I feel bad that John and Sue are having a fight. Like, whoever, if you told Louis that John and Sue is having a fight, even though everybody in the planet knows, that person you spoke to should not repeat it. That conversation that you just had, they should just leave it alone.
You cannot draw to an honest conclusion by what we call hearsay. Right?
Exactly.
Just because Joy told me that Tiffany and Donna had a fight, and maybe I'm more loyal to one than the other, in my mind, I'm going to think so and so is right because I don't know the truth. I don't know what really happened. So I don't want to draw those conclusions, and I think you shouldn't be talking about, things happen, honestly, unless you're on that, unless that you're in on that, you really don't know. And feelings are everything too with people. Feelings play a role, and you don't know how that person really meant it, per se. They might have meant it honestly.
And you never know, too. How about this? Let's throw this in the mix. Let's just throw this in the mix, right? Somebody comes to you, right?
I love it. No, I love when she gets animated.
Susie and Bill had an argument, right? And then Susie tells Jack what happened, like the honest truth from her perspective, like literally what her and Susie and Bill had to argue, right? Jack does not like Bill. So Jack says, hey, Donatella, did you know that Susie and Bill, like everybody knows that Susie and Bill are having a problem, right? But Jack hates Bill, right? So he tells you the lie. Like, hey, yo, Bill raped her, or say something stupid, right? Bill did this to her, like he stole money from her, when that really never happened. So now you go and say, like, man, I heard what happened. Like, Jack told me that Bill stole money from Susie. A complete lie. Because sometimes people purposely cause division. That's why I say, if somebody tells you something, let it die at you. Don't let you be the bunt of, like, oh, well, Donna told me in passing that this happened between Susie and Bill, because Jack done told you a lie, and it's going to come back that Donatella said that Jack was a thief. I mean, that Bill was a thief. And then Jack will be like, I don't know. I never told Donatella that. And what are you going to say? Like, well, Jack lied to me. They're not going to believe that because Susie trusts Jack. And Susie doesn't know Jack means harm to Bill. So whenever somebody tells you something, whoever you tell the next story to, let it be somebody that's not going to repeat it. Because you never know, as a third party or fourth party, who's lying or who put their spin to it because they want to keep division. Maybe they want the intention to go away from Susie, Bill, and everybody else and go on to them. Because now you look at them as a savior, and they're like, oh wow, Donatella, like, yo, this person, Jack, is a savior. Like, I like him better because he told the truth and he tried to make everything better.
Right.
Watch out for the wolves. Because they come in many forms.
Yes, especially when they're in sheep's clothing.
They come in many forms, and they cause more division than anything. And there's some people who have lives that they're not happy with will want everybody to riff They'll want everybody to rip.
They want everybody else to be miserable in their corner.
Exactly. And then they'll have true friendships end up ripping apart. And guess who's going to be happy? The person that does not know what happy is. So whenever you tell somebody something that has something to do with the whole entire world, make sure you tell it to someone that's not going to repeat it, whether it's something superficial or really serious.
Yeah. This is,
all right, listen, ladies, I'm going to pop out because I've just pulled in home, and if I can, I'll pop on my computer.
Yeah, come back.
Okay. All right. I like what Michelle wrote.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I also I'm not a super religious person, but in the Bible, it says that if you have a problem with somebody, go to that person first. Go to that person first. And if they don't resolve that situation, then go to a trusted source. And if that trusted source is not, and you still can't resolve it, then you air it out. But like a lot of us, instead of going to the person, this is why I say we all have to grow and start addressing things. Instead of us going to that person, we'll go with everybody else.
Well, you should. I do believe that if you have an issue with someone and you don't feel comfortable going to that person, you should be able to turn to a quote unquote true friend about it. But that's the problem, is that sometimes somebody that portrays themselves as a true friend that can kind of give you some insight or some guidance is not a true friend and is not going to give you the insight or the guidance.
Well, how about you ask them just to be a mediator instead of telling them everything? How about ask them, hey, can you be a mediator? Because I'm afraid to reach out to this person. So like somebody that has no, nothing to do with
He's having trouble coming back in.
Yeah. Like just have a mediator. Like I know it takes a lot of work to do all of these things, but that is part of how we can grow as a community. You have to put the work in to do something different. And a lot of us don't want to put the work in. Instead, we'll just start talking about it to everyone else. Like, go to the person. Like, go to the person. If you can't go to the person, then get somebody to mediate. And if you can't get a mediator, then maybe you need to rethink, like, man, should I take it this far or whatever? Because the consequences can not only just, like you said, like if there's a lot of beef going on YouTube, maybe those two people that it started off with, seriously may not have been like a big situation and they could have easily, fixed that between themselves, but now everybody knows everything, and now everybody's starting to choose sides.
Yeah.
So like it's causing division for no reason. Like go to the person, be like man up, son. Go to the person.
Yeah. Makes me sad though when people choose sides.
But that's what we do. We have our people. We love who we love, and we like want to protect who we protect. And that's how choosing sides happens. Like you really love somebody, so like you're always going to be like partial to what they have to say. And sometimes not all of us can be diplomatic about situations. So, and I agree with Adam. Sometimes instead of responding, you just be quiet and then leave. Because I saw what he said before when you highlighted that. But I think a lot of the things we need to just address each other. Like it takes courage to just say, hey, I'm strong enough, I'm mature enough, I've grown enough to say, hey, this is what you did. I struggle with it still too. This is what you did to me. Now we need to talk it out. Let me hear your side. Even if I don't like your side, at least it's out there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
It's true.
Yep. It's a lot to think about. Right?
Well, at the end of the day, somebody else said something. I'm not sure who it was, but they basically said that sometimes you can agree to disagree with a person and you just go your separate ways. And a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people think that, like, just because you don't trust somebody doesn't mean you have to trust them.
If you don't choose a side, one will be assigned to you. Wow, that is super true.
That's Heather.
True. Yeah.
Have you ever spoken to Heather? Heather, I gotta have you on my show.
No, but it's very true, because you could not you could simply just be standing there, but because somebody thinks that you're friends with someone else, you automatically have chosen their side. I agree with that. That's another thing too. Like, this is the consequences that happen when you let things spiral out. You start hurting people that have nothing to do with stuff, nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, that's a strong statement right there. It's so true.
That's why I feel like heavily we need to think more before we respond to a lot. We need to really seriously sit down and like just.
Hi, Gina. Thank
If
you for
what you
coming
think
in.
doesn't need to be said, then you don't need to say it.
Well, and a lot of times I think that you can let people's actions speak for themselves.
Exactly. And you don't even have to say a word. Yep.
People's actions speak louder than words. Is that what you said?
Well, I said you can let their actions speak for themselves. So if somebody is telling you one thing, don't pay so much attention to what people say. Pay attention to what they do. That's a big lesson that I've learned and I'm still learning.
Yeah. It's
If
true.
somebody, if somebody is telling you one thing like, I'm your friend, I got your back, I'm always going to be there for you, and then they're not around when you need them, then that tells you that their words were not sincere. They may have meant it when they said it, but their words don't hold much value. I mean, look at somebody's words and compare it to their actions, because somebody asked this in a Facebook group the other day. I guess they were getting tired of like all these gurus trying to sell you stuff. And they said, is there any kind of integrity in this business? And I was like, okay, what are you talking about? And then they explained themselves. And I said something which I realized like this is a good quote. And that's that a man is not what he says he is. A man is what he does. Just look at someone's actions at the end of the day, look at someone's actions. You are not what you say you're going to do. You are what you do.
It's true. It's so true.
Watch your conversations.
So true.
Watch your conversations. That's another thing too. Watch your conversations. If it's not like ultimately, if a conversation isn't edifying you or helping you become a better person or growing you into be like figuring out how you can be a better person, is it really worth talking about?
No, 100%. 100%. You have to, that's why, I love watching your show, Joy, because, I like to surround myself with positivity, and I've made it clear to a few people that I'm scaling back on my involvement in YouTube due to the mental and emotional stress. And I'm focusing on what I used to focus on, which was listening to positive motivational speakers, positive podcasts, things that feed my soul, because that is what is going to keep me going in life. And that's why I watch Anthony's weekly Bible study, because it feeds my soul. Those things are what is going to keep me going, because I love my business and I love what I'm doing. But, we all have our issues in life. And when you dive yourself into negativity and gossip and drama, it's not going to feed you. It's going to bring you down at the end of the day. You've got to surround yourself with positivity and motivation and things that are feeding you,
It's really, it's what's amazing about what you're saying though is that there's some people that have drama and are negative and struggle, and it doesn't affect me. Like it doesn't, like I want to be their cheerleader. I want to lift them up. I want to help them. I want to enlighten them. And then there's some people that have negativity and drama, and it's amazing how they just completely exhaust you.
Mm-hmm.
Like to the point where you can't even you almost have to lie and be like, I've got to take this call, or I've got to go. Or isn't that amazing how some people
It's that because you're so like Like that soul compatibility is not there.
Maybe that's it. I don't know.
It could be that, or they could honestly try to suck. They're like energy suckers. Those people are energy suckers. And I think people who are energy suckers really don't want to change anything within themselves. And so they will continue to drain as many people as possible who will listen.
Yeah.
So you just, Donatella, you just gotta, I think for you, just focus on yourself. Don't be so open to hearing everybody's thing.
It's not my personality.
I know.
Just writing. I just want to say, Heather, thank you so much for popping in. She's going to go to a yard
Yes.
sale. I was trying to type it, but I kept making errors. So I'm just going to say thank you for popping in. Hey, Texas Val, thanks for coming in. Hi, Trooper 69. Anybody that I didn't greet that came in, I'm sorry. We're kind of having an intense conversation here.
Yeah, you know, I'm not looking at the chat.
Yeah, Heather, come back at 4:00 if you're 4:00 Eastern time, you guys, back on my channel with Jeremy and beautiful George from What the Hales. So yeah, it should be an interesting show. So try to pop in, drop in the mic. You ladies rock. Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you, sweetheart. Yeah. So again, it just full circle. It comes back around to my personality.
You're
Some
gonna,
people,
in order to do things differently, it's gonna take maybe change, and it's gonna be uncomfortable. It's gonna be painful, but you gotta want it. If you don't want it, then that's on you.
Yeah. So any last we've been on for an hour and 11 minutes. Hello, Denali. Everybody say hello to Denali.
Oh, wow.
Every time I look at the clock, it's on the 11s, and that's my son sending me a little message telling me, I'm with you, Mama. I'm with you. He died on June 11th. So the number 11 is very dear to me. He was 11 years old, and it was on June 11th. So if you don't know what 1111 means, go look it up. So yeah, it's funny how I just look at the clock. I was like, let's see, how long have we been on? We've been on for an hour and 11 minutes. So Joy, any last words that you want to share of wisdom with us? And guys, please go follow Joy. Tiffany, if you could drop the link, or Joy, if you could just make a comment.
I'll drop the link to her channel.
Thanks. And subscribe to one another, please, people, and be kind to one another. And Wonder Woman has enjoyed the chat. Thank you, sweetheart. Yeah, just click on the little 3. Try to get you to 1,000. I was hoping there'd be more people that joined us this morning, but maybe this afternoon at 4:00. Pop into the chat and I'll give you a shout out.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, it was great.
I thought about him.
I think it was great talking, but at the end of the day, change happens inside out. So.
Thank you, Texas Val. Thank you, honey. Thank you. Yeah, for the rest of my life.
I'll drop your website.
Going to New York City, Trooper 69.
Oh, wow. Very cool. That is a fun place with some great pizza.
Yeah.
I'm very jealous now. The pizza's
right?
so good
Oh,
there.
God, what I would do for a slice of New York pizza. They don't make good pizza down here in South Florida. They don't know how to do it. Okay, so
I want my biscotti. I want my biscotti.
I'm working on it. We're gonna do We're gonna do a video of going shopping, buying all the ingredients, and then we're gonna do a video. My girlfriend Dolores is gonna help me do it. She's gonna videotape me, and then we're gonna make them. I bid on 5 storage units for this week because so I don't know if I'm gonna do it this week, but
can I also make a suggestion? Can I make a suggestion, something for you to think about?
Yes.
Can you maybe do one day where you're talking to parents who have been suffering from loss of their children?
Yeah.
Like just designate one day to do that outside of the auctions. That'll start you on your way of,
That's a great idea, Joy.
just one day, because I know I'll definitely tune in for that.
That is a great idea.
Lost a child?
What's that?
Did you lose a child?
No, I have not.
No. But you just want to, just join in with us.
We'll be right back, ladies.
Yeah. So anybody in the chat that is a grieving mom or dad, send me a message. Maybe I'll do like a special announcement. And I don't know how I would
Do it yourself. Do it yourself.
Do it myself.
Yeah. It's one time.
I know. So you do your shows by yourself all the time. I always have guests.
I can always count on people to be there. So,
Ricardo's wife lost his son.
Oh, wow. Maybe Ricardo can be on with you then.
Or his wife.
Or his wife, if she feels up to it. But yeah, I mean, I like those are things that edify my soul. Just being able to be there for somebody that's going through something.
Yeah.
A loss is something that we all have had. So
yeah. It's Ricardo says he'll be there. It's a very emotional ride. I can't talk about it without crying. So it's not going to be a fun show.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's not going to be a fun show.
But people need to know that they're not alone. That's the point.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I started the YouTube channel, for that reason. So I need to start down that path of right now this feels good. Right now I'm enjoying this and this feels good. This took a whole year for me to even start. So it might take a little bit longer for me to get down that path. I don't know if my heart's ready for it yet.
Okay.
But I definitely will think about it. And I'll know when the time is right.
Right.
I'll know when the time is right. Okay, we are going to wrap it up. I'm going to get my billing done from last night's auction. I have 25 boxes that need to go out to the driveway for the mailman to pick up. I need to add to those. So I appreciate everybody that came into the auction last night. Thank you. Please come back at 4 o'clock today. I'm really excited. And Joy goes on every night between 7 and 9. Just random, just 7 and 9. You'll get the alert. You'll know when she goes on. And I strongly suggest you hang out with her and listen to what she has to say, because has always great inspirational everything to say. And Tiffany, did you drop your links to your Amazon group?
I'll drop it. I'll drop the link to my channel.
Yeah, Joy, are you on Facebook?
Yeah, under BTD LLC.
Can you drop that link too?
I just use my company page. Like I don't know. I keep my personal stuff real personal, and that's that.
You're smart. Trust me. You're smart to do that.
Yeah, I have my Facebook page that I really want to keep personal, and I started. It's kind of like a business page, I guess it's called. So, I mean, I've gotten honestly like 600 subscriber requests, but my Facebook page is like my childhood friends, some family, and
that's what I'm going to start doing, is like trying to migrate people over to my business page, because I get random friend requests from people I have no clue who they are, and my inbox is flooded. My PM inbox is flooded, so I want to keep it separate. I think that's a wise idea. Where'd she go? Donna!
She's on her phone.
Oh, she got a call?
No, she's texting.
It's not letting me drop the link for... Hold up.
Guys, keep your personal conversations personal. Don't share it with everybody.
There it is. Yeah, like this guy here, friend requested me this morning.
Yeah, I get weird. I mean, that's why I put on my thing, like I put under my profile, like no marriage proposals, no inappropriate messages. I've gotten like weird messages from people. I'm like, geez, I just like, please. I'm serious.
Marriage proposals. That's hilarious.
All right, you guys, we're gonna end the chat, and we'll see you later on. Did you put your you put your channel in, and Joy, did you put yours in so people can
Yeah, I think you did that, right, Tiffany?
Yeah, I put her link in there. I put her link to her channel and her website.
Awesome. And you know what, too, guys? Thank you for all of those who are here in the chat and like having a real candid conversation. That's all. And there's nothing wrong with talking about things.
Yeah.
Don't take anything personal or think don't think I'm talking about anyone, because again, I'm just an outsider looking in, and I know nothing about these different, YouTube little things that are going on. And even if I did,
you're lucky.
Even if I did know, like, whoever tells me anything, whether it's superficial or serious, I don't repeat it, because in my life, even when I repeated superficial things, it always came back that Joyce that did something, and I ended up looking like the bad person. So I learned from a very young age, just keep your mouth shut. If somebody tells you something, just let it die at you, and that's that.
You're lucky, because I can tell you that I'm speaking about what I'm speaking about from experience, and so is Tiffany. So from experiences that we've experienced. So unfortunately, but we'll work it through. We'll work it out. We'll work it through. Right? What does this mean? I just hit a time warp. I've been watching for a while tonight, and now it seems like I'm completely new stream. Don't know.
Hey, Neville W.
Okay, we're signing off. We're going. Bye, everybody. We'll see you at 4. Thank you for joining. Bye-bye.
Adios. 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 Adios.